Chapter 20. After a while, my meditations and studies began to bear fruit. It really started late in January, one frosty night in the woods. In the dead silence, it seemed I almost heard the words said, "Everything is all right forever and forever and forever." I let out a big hoo, 1 o'clock in the morning. The dogs leaped up and exulted. I felt like yelling it to the stars. I clasped my hands and prayed, "O wise and serene spirit of awakenerhood, everything's all right forever and forever and forever. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen." What I care about the Tower of Gold and sperm and bones and dust, I felt free, and therefore I was free. I suddenly felt the desire to write to Warren Coughlin, who was strong in my thoughts now as I recalled his modesty and general silence from the vain screams of myself and Alva and Jaffe. Yes, Coughlin, it's a shining nowness, and we've done it. Carried America like a shining blanket into the brighter nowhere already. It began to get warmer in February, and the ground began to melt a little, and the nights in the woods were milder. My sleeps on the porch more enjoyable. The stars seemed to get wet in the sky, bigger. Under the stars, I'd be dozing cross-legged under my tree, and in my half-asleep mind, I'd be saying, "Moab? Who is Moab?" And I'd wake up with a burr in my hand, a cotton burr of one of the dogs. So, awake, I'd make thoughts like, it's all different appearances of the same thing. My drowsiness, the burr, Moab, all one ephemeral dream, all belongs to the same emptiness, glory be. Then I'd run these words through my mind to train myself. I am emptiness. I am not different from emptiness. Neither is emptiness different from me. Indeed, emptiness is me. There'd be a puddle of water with a star shining in it. I'd spit in the puddle, the star would be obliterated. I'd say, "That star is real?" I wasn't exactly unconscious of the fact that I had a good warm fire to return to after these midnight meditations, provided kindly for me by my brother-in-law, who was getting a little sick and tired of my hanging around not working. Once I told him a line from something, about how one grows through suffering. He said, "If you grow through suffering, by this time I ought to be as big as the side of the house." When I'd go to the country store to buy bread and milk, the old boys there sitting around among bamboo poles and molasses barrels say, "What do you do in those woods?" "Oh, I just go in there to study." "Ain't you kind of old to be a college student?" "Well, I just go in there sometimes and just sleep." But I'd watch them rambling around the fields all day looking for something to do, so their wives would think they were real busy, hard-working men, and they weren't fooling me either. I knew they secretly wanted to go sleep in the woods, or just sit and do nothing in the woods, like I wasn't too ashamed to do. They never bothered me. How could I tell them that my knowing was the knowing that the substance of my bones and their bones and the bones of dead men in the earth of rain at night is the common individual substance that is everlastingly tranquil and blissful? Whether they believed it or not makes no difference, too. One night, in my rain cape, I sat in a regular downpour, and I had a little song to go with the pattering rain on my rubber hood. Raindrops are ecstasy. Raindrops are not different from ecstasy. Neither is ecstasy different from raindrops. Yeah, ecstasy is raindrops. Rain on, O cloud. So what did I care what the old tobacco-chewing stick-whittlers at the crossroads store had to say about my mortal eccentricity? We all get to be gum in graves anyway. I even got a little drunk with one of the old men one time, and we went driving around the country roads, and I actually told him how I was sitting out in those woods meditating, and he really rather understood and said he would like to try that if he had time, or if he could get up enough nerve, and had a little rueful envy in his voice. Everybody knows everything.